Going live. Okay, go ahead, Kelly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kelly. You are at the right channel. This is Casey's channel, but she is moving today, so she asked me to host. Oh. All right. Okay, so yes, I'm Kelly, and I'm live on Casey's channel, taking over for her today because she is moving. We're going to talk about several things today. We're going to talk about the Outschool Expo. We're going to talk about the newest update that came out on Tuesday. So since I'm already talking, I'll just introduce myself. I have a channel called Teacher Kelly Tag, and I read the Go-Go Kid and VIP Kid weekly reports every Tuesday, and sometimes talk about Outschool too. Plus, I occasionally put other videos out. Rebecca, she's got a little one there, but if you can, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm sorry about the baby crying. She's being half, and she's not happy right now. She's fine, she's safe, but she's not happy. Hey, come here. Come here. She might come visit later on. We'll see.
Okay.
So yes, my name is Rebecca F, and I teach math and science to the little ones on Outschool. And here's my little one. Say hi.
Hello. Hi. Look at her smile. There we go. Now you got a smile.
Yeah. Yeah, so I do a lot about the parent side because I also have a 5-year-old who takes a ton of Outschool classes every week. So I kind of get to see how things look like from a parent side, but also as a teacher side.
All right. Well, good. And her hair color is exactly the same as yours, like mother, like daughter. It's like matches exactly. Yes. Hello. So, okay. Well, I just wanted to let everyone know there is an Outschool Expo. It's unofficial, going on Facebook. I'm pretty sure Casey put it in the description box. I'll double check and we'll get it in the chat too. But teachers are just telling you what their classes are going to be like this summer. They are offering discounts. All of us teachers who are participating donated $10, and we're giving out gift cards to someone who could win. You can win a gift card. Plus, teachers are individually giving out discounts too. So if you are a parent, it would be a really good thing to go to. Plus, you can meet the teachers ahead of time. Aren't you ever thinking, I want to sign up for this class, but I don't know much about the teacher. This is a way, the teacher will be live, but in the Facebook Live, you can ask questions and get to know them a little better. So I'm personally giving out, if you've never ever tried one of my classes before, I'm giving out half off to try one of my classes for the first time. Rebecca, you said you weren't participating in the expo, but you might come as a parent. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come as a parent. Life is just too busy to plan that right now, but maybe next time.
Right. Yes. Okay, so let's get to the update. This is something Rebecca's going to talk about because I've never tried it, but now they are allowing your availability. You can only do it on certain classes because I know I've said many times, I am not using that feature. I don't want it booking my ongoing classes. So before you set your availability and a parent can just schedule a class. And with my ongoing, since that's every week, I very carefully plan out on this day, I want this class and I only want one section until it fills. But I always said if I only do it on my one-time classes, I would do it. So I might try it, but Rebecca has used it many times before. So you tell us all about it.
Yes. So I started from the get-go because I thought it was required. I guess it's not, but I found it was a very useful feature because my family life schedule is very consistent every day, every week. So I go, okay, I teach at this time and I teach at this time, but I don't know which classes to put in which time because I have so many one-time classes last summer. So like, okay, parents, you choose, you just set the time and I'll be there as long as it's right here and here. So what you do now is when you're in your teacher profile, you go to availability, and you can check mark all the times that you want to teach. So I unselect everything because it's automatically selected the entire 12-hour day. So you unselect and then you select the ones that are available. And that sets your availability overall. Now, when you go into each class and you go into that class listing, when you write up that class and you type in all you want to do before you send it off, down near the bottom right underneath like the supply list and the payment is a little check mark for do this if you want to set this for availability. And so you want to uncheck it. It's automatically checked for scheduling. It says if you have auto schedule turned on for your profile, you can choose to specifically exclude this class from being auto scheduled. And as a check mark, then allow auto scheduling. So I keep it on for my one-time classes. But as soon as it came out, I went to my ongoing classes and I did unselect because like you said, I want to choose an ongoing or commitment and it automatically schedules you for 4 weeks of that ongoing class. And you're like, but so I now have it open for the one-time classes, letting them be open. And then I took it off for my ongoing. So I have more control over that. I love that it's per class.
Yes, because the thing that I do too is I schedule my one-time classes and my ongoing classes on different days of the week. Like I never schedule ongoing on Mondays, but I schedule one time. So for me, the availability wouldn't work because I wanted them on different days, but this makes it easier. And hello, Jerry.
Hello.
Introduce yourself. Tell us what you're going to be talking about and when at the expo, because we were talking about that, and tell us if you've ever used the availability feature.
Okay. Hello, I'm Jerry T. And sorry for being late. I was just teaching an Outschool class. We were painting monarch butterflies today. So let's see. So I am going to be at the Outschool Expo unofficial today. I will be live at 12:30 Central Time, 1:30 Eastern Time, 10:30 Pacific Time, blah, blah, blah. And I will be talking about a little bit about all my classes. So I have 3 camps that I put together for the summer. I have a rainbow pop camp that's for the little ones and a little bit older, like 5 to 7. And then I have an art journal camp, and that's for teens, but also for that mid-range elementary school range. And my 3rd camp is a wizard art camp. So it's art, but it's kind of got like a little twist to it, kind of focused on some wizard inspired. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Wizard inspired, magical. So that's when I'm going to be at the expo. And I'm going to touch on my ongoing classes because they are my bread and butter. I teach 11 sections every week. And I don't only teach painting, but I do hand lettering, art journaling, and animal drawing. So I'm going to touch on those a little bit. In terms of availability, although my kids are grown and 20 and 23, I have a lot of open availability throughout the day, but I don't use that feature. And part of the reason why is I'm trying to maintain a little window of free time to take care of different things. And being an art teacher, I need to do a lot of art. And so I need time to actually work on the stuff that's going to be in the class. And it's really, really hard balancing 2 online jobs and doing that. I find it hard. I mean, some people might have 5 online jobs, but for me, I just need that time. So I don't, I know. Well, some people are actively working, like so many of them, and on social media. And I just can't, I just need to find a little balance in my life. I think the older I get.
The availability from the parents' side, when you say, I want to book this class, what times are you available? You can't book less than 2 weeks ahead.
That is good to know.
So when they look at it, they're going to see, okay, here are 5 days, and here's the times for those days. Which one do you like? And all of them are at least 2 weeks out. So it gives you time and them time to kind of get settled into this time, gives time for more kids to join in too, because it'll create a new section.
Right, sure.
And so that kind of helps me out too. It's like, oh, okay, well, I can do that. So that's good.
Now, if I knew, like for you, Rebecca, totally, like you had certain times, especially when you first started.
Morning nap and afternoon nap.
Right, right. And your daughter was even younger and it was like so scheduled. For me, it's like, it's just me and the cats and the kids are doing what they need to be doing. And so it's like, I just don't want it to be where parents can come and like start taking all the times. So I was a little afraid of it. but I am willing to think about it again since they've made some alterations too.
And you
I
can
think,
edit at any time. You can take away
mhm,
availability. You can change it.
Mhm.
You can,
right.
now
I
that
think I'll,
summer's here, you can go, okay, I'm going to totally redo my summer availability and just
mhm.
put it out there.
I think I'm going to play with,
Right.
I'm going to look at it more like after the summer scheduling situation is really settled. Cause right now there's like all kinds of potential things going on. So I don't know.
Yeah, and like you said you wanted this chunk of time carved out for yourself. You can
Well,
do that in the availability. Can't you say like this time, these are the times I'm not teaching and unclick as well. So you can set it not to schedule at the time that you want your
this
free
is
time.
true, but I want to throw one thing out there. I scattered some of mine, not to make myself crazy, although it sort of happened a little bit, but but to throw, like they say, throw spaghetti at the wall. It wasn't so much
Mhm.
that I mean, I do have a pretty good variety of classes, but they're all art. So it's not like the exact spaghetti that they might be talking about, but it's throwing out a lot of times. Like I had an art journal class for 9 to 12 or 8 to 12 year olds, and it was doing pretty well. Like I had a few learners, let's say, in the late summer, fall. And they just clicked away as the school year began, and everyone was going back to this sort of still in COVID mode. We don't know if we're on, now things are different, but I kind of lost that class. And I now teach a few teenagers, the same class. That one's kind of held on, but I really want to bring back this class. And my summer camp, I've had one summer camp already with 3 learners for that age group for art journals, and they really enjoyed it. And now one's in my ongoing class. So I'm kind of I'm trying to bring that back. So that time didn't work. I threw it out there. It didn't work. So I was afraid of
Right.
availability because like, you never know. I don't know.
Right. I see what you're saying. You just have so many classes out there for the summer and so many camps. You don't want someone just scheduling another thing. Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm kind of, yeah. Go ahead.
I'll pull them away if I'm really not seeing anybody enroll. Like I'm getting enrollments trickling in. They're trickling in kind of one here, two there, one here. Nothing's filling quite yet. Sometimes it depends on families. Sometimes I know when my kids were a little younger, sometimes we would shoot for like, when are we practicing some academic stuff? Just because we want to get it over with. And then let's see what we want to do for the fun stuff. And so I don't know how Outschool, like there wasn't Outschool when mine were. So I don't know how I would have handled it. Yeah. So I don't know. So maybe art, it just depends on what you appeal to, but we'll see. I just have to have that. Yeah. I wouldn't call it this time. I'd call it this time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I think I might try it too, but you're right. In the summer, I know they were really pushing camps, and me in my personal life, I put up a camp, then took it down 2 days later. And I thought, wait a second, I want to work less in the summer, not more. Jerry, I only have a few more years before my kids are, too old. Only a few more summers before they won't want to spend time, and they're already
You
getting that
should
way.
do what you're doing. You should do what you're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, because although because of COVID, my older kids are living with me. They have their own things. They drive. They do their things
Yeah.
that they need to do. I mean, we're all vaccinated, so there's a little bit more comfort and freedom in doing some things now that more time's gone by and so forth and so on. So it's like we're trying to get a little bit more into normal life, and God willing, at some point they're going to be working. I really won't see them at that point. My one son's been freelancing. So
Yeah.
I recommend seizing the time. It goes so fast. I missed the junior year of my older son. I like missed it. I don't know what happened. And it was April and I went, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, I can't even believe they're teenagers.
Right.
Rebecca, yours are little, and it may seem like it lasts forever because they're crying and they need you all the time, but it really does go fast. It's like, well, it's like that saying is the days are long, but the years are short.
Fly by.
Yeah.
Yep, the years fly by.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yes. Yes.
Now that I've lived through it, that's my favorite one. The days feel long. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, me too. Yes. Well, let's talk about some of the other things that were in the update. Let's see. Rebecca, there were some things that you wanted. Oh, the expanded language. Okay. So I'm going to try to explain it the way I understand it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Disclaimer, I'm an independent contractor for Outschool, just like you are if you're watching. So I'm not officially speaking, but I'm just going by how I understand this to work. So what I'm understanding is that Outschool wants to expand around the globe to other countries. So they want to start having classes in other languages. And you can set what language your class is going to be in. So if you wanted to have a class completely in Spanish or French or German, you can set your class to do that. And that's a way that they are expanding to more people around the world. Is that the way you guys understood it too?
Yeah, that's how I read it. It says you can select from 20 languages when developing a class listing by choosing it from a drop-down list.
Right.
Right. So that does mean more students might be attracted to Outschool. And the good thing is that English is starting to become a universal language. So even if they speak German, they might also speak English and take your class. I know in my classes, if I have kids in Europe in one of my classes, one of the things I ask them is, what languages do you speak? And then they're doing this. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Let's see. And then the American kids are usually like, just English or Spanish. Yeah. So that's good news. It does mean potential more students at Outschool, which is going to help all of us. Let's see. What was the other thing we're going to talk about? I'm looking. Okay. The language and the availability. Am I missing something?
Did you talk about the private learner notes already?
Oh no, that was the other thing.
It was again in this week's newsletter, and it's very helpful. I've used it a couple of times.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yes. So now they have a note section. Like if you work at VIP Kid, they have a note section where you can write things about your learners. On my channel, I have a video about how I used Feedback Panda for Outschool. But the thing is, with having like 6 learners in each class, even though I'm keeping all these notes, I don't always have time to look at them like right before the class. So it would be nice to have it right there on the Outschool site. Just little things to remember about them. When's their birthday? What's their favorite sport? Where do they live? I mean, things like that. So that when they're in the class, you could, mention it. And, there's just so many, it's hard to keep track. Disclaimer though, that one thing everyone should know about the parents can request to get the notes if they ever wanted to. So never say anything unprofessional, this kid's a brat or anything mean, or even, something like that. Yeah. So what do you guys have comments on that or? Yeah.
I put like a nickname in there for someone. That was what she told me, but her name was, XYZ. And then her nickname was, Susie Q or whatever it was. So that was kind of helpful. Or if she, would say, let's say if you're in art and she's like, I hate red, then maybe I would say doesn't really like red or something like that. Like that might be just like little tidbits of info.
Birthdays.
Yeah.
Because my kid told me a birthday 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Well, this is that time I want to do something to celebrate it. But if I don't write it down somewhere, I know I'm going to forget. I'm like, it was my birthday last week.
Yeah.
Don't you remember I told you?
I see a lot of kids every week. So I'm like, okay, write it down so that hopefully I remember.
I don't know a lot of my kids' birthdays that I teach, but it would be good to know.
Yeah, they're not on the profile. Even though the parents have to put the birthday on the profile to show the age. So like when my daughter had her birthday, it changed her age from 4 to age 5. So now she can do the 5-year-old classes. It doesn't list the birthday for the teachers to see. So you kind of have to ask your kids if they offer it of like the month and the day. That way you can celebrate it with it.
So
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, just to tag on that, when you said 4 to 5, did we talk about the age thing yet?
Oh, yes. That was something else important to do.
That's a segue.
Yes. So yes, now you can make your age group really strict. I mean, you always were allowed to put an age group on the class, but it was only a suggestion. Right. And so now you can say, okay, only this age can join the class, or I'll give it a little leeway. 1 year
1
before,
year.
1 year
Yeah.
after. Yeah. Hello. She's stealing the show. I used to think, well, why would people care? Because it's more enrollments, you're getting more people. But I didn't ask this person permission to share, so I won't share her name. But I have a friend who she said that so she had more of a teenage age group, and sometimes a younger child would get in the class and it would make other people older leave because they didn't want to be in the class.
Right. It
So,
sort of sabotages the dynamics of the class.
right.
If you've got one that's too much younger.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had that situation where I didn't have the learners leaving, but and it wasn't maybe as dramatic as that example, but I did have a 6-year-old enroll in a 9 to 12-year-old class. And I was pretty concerned about it because with art, just like really anything with science ideas, with math, with reading, the abilities, the patience level, the focus level is not the same from 6 to 9. I mean, that's like first grade to fourth grade. That's a big difference. There's a lot more experience. I mean, if you're talking about grade equivalents, and it's just when I think about how I explain something when they're going to draw or they're going to do something, or the actual project itself may be too much. And I really went back. I went back and forth with the mom a little bit because I said, I just want to know, the pacing may be a little bit fast, and she did fine. But she had her own ideas, and I'm completely open to that. But I was in the back of my mind, I was wondering if she had her own ideas because she did not understand what we were doing, or if she just had her own ideas, which is great. I totally welcome that. That's like one of the things that I do. But because of that age gap, I wasn't sure where that was coming from. It was a little different mindset.
Right. Right. And I've heard, this hasn't happened to me, but I've heard of it happening to other teachers where someone outside of the age range will join the class and then end up giving that teacher like a lower star review because they didn't like something about the class. Maybe the content was too mature. And then, the class was listed for an older age group. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I know. I mean, the only example I could think of in my own classes is Diary of a Wimpy Kid. If a kid is advanced in reading, they might want to join that book club, but some of the content is a little more middle school mature, I have to say. Mm-hmm. So at your own risk but now you can be strict. So yeah.
And there's another, you can set the range, like how many years you're willing to go, or are you not willing to go? Like I'm willing to go 1 year down for some, but not necessarily up. Like I don't want teenagers in the class that goes to 12. Yes. It's just the dynamic changes. And so, and it's not like they're all beating down the door to get in, but if someone comes along, I have a different class for you. I'd rather you go to that class. Yeah. And the other thing I was just going to bring up that can be a problem sometimes is if they enroll in the last minute.
Yes.
I've had that happen. And then you're like, there's literally like almost nothing that I can do because I can barely tell them. They see the welcome message and I update the welcome message doesn't update very well, but I update, I have a message that goes out to them. So I send them personally, I see the enrollment and I have it ready to go each week. I change that little boilerplate, I update it a little bit and I send it to them right away. I barely have time for that if that happens. So like in the heart of the semester, that was happening.
One thing that they changed for the parent side that's super helpful.
Yeah.
When you sign up for a class, it says,
welcome
to this class. Here's the date time. Here's the supply list.
Yes.
Yay. The class starts in 23 minutes. Here's the supply list. So what I've been doing with my science classes is every week I'm going to go and update in the main class description that 1 week of supply list. I don't have the list for all 20 weeks there. That's just too overwhelming. I just give them 1 week. That way, when they get the reminder, go, oh yeah, here's the supplies I need to gather real quick.
So do you update just the supply section?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I go to edit class. I go to the supply list.
Right.
And I might do 2 weeks. And so I go do this week and then next week.
Okay.
And let's go. Here's the experiment. Here's the 5 supplies. Experiment, 5 supplies.
And here's something that
edit. They'll know, what's needed.
Right. And something else that I do is when I only put the month's worth in the description for art for my ongoing. I'll say like week of June 7th, and I'll say or what it's week of June 7th, mountain landscape reflection, week of June 14th. And so they have an idea. But what I do is I'll put a list of supplies in that as well. So if they're shopping around,
Mhm.
just looking and they don't click on supplies, let's say, they could say, oh, mountain landscape. Oh, we only need like 4 colors of paint and some paper.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Or another time it might be like, oh, we need Q-tips. So
Yeah. For some classes, I put in both description and the supply list.
right,
But emails, the parents don't get the
Mhm.
description.
right,
And
right.
students don't see the description on their portal or anything really. The students only see the classroom messages and the private messages.
Okay.
But the supply list is a new thing to the email, so it's really cool. So I'm going to make
It is cool.
every
Yeah,
week.
Mhm.
that is a good idea. Yeah, that is a good idea. And then
That
I
was a
send that
great update.
yeah, it was a really good update for folks that have different things every week, like
Mhm.
Rebecca and myself. It's so
Mhm.
helpful because it can be sort of stressful. I mean, if you
Yeah.
drone at the last minute and you don't have what you need, I always welcome you to come with what you do and you can just create art with us. But I don't want you to
Mhm.
be upset that you're not making exactly what we're doing. You know,
Right,
you
right.
didn't have to be here last week to do this,
Mhm.
but you
Yeah.
do need to have yellow and red. I mean, it would be nice if you had yellow and red. You could do blue if you want. It just
Right,
won't.
right. And this is a tip I got from Rebecca, but I put it in the welcome letter. I kind of put it everywhere. I think she said in one of her videos, just post it
Yeah.
everywhere. You know,
Make
I
it
post
super
it.
easy. Just overpost it.
Yes.
Yes.
And then that's why I also
Yes.
send a welcome to my and blah, blah, blah. I have a little message and it says this
Mhm.
week we're using just in case. It's also going to be directly to the parents and on the learner's
Mhm.
message. I know it's a little bit overkill for, but that first time, I want to say that I gave you the information. I gave it to you.
Yes.
I hope you're prepared. If you're not, you can still join
Mhm.
us. Love to meet you, but I gave you the info. So, you know, so I kind of just,
Yes.
I might kill it a little bit, but that's okay.
That's better that give them the information like the description, the supply list, the welcome letter, and on the classroom page is what I try to do. And now they're sending out emails. So hopefully, I mean, mine's usually straightforward. Last week we're on book 5, now we're on books, but I have one book series where like there's no order to it. So that one, it really helps. And then the parents are always messaging me, oh, what book are we on? And now I have hardly gotten any messages since I started putting it in the welcome message. So
Oh,
save
nice.
time for you. Yes. Um, so yeah, go ahead.
The chat's kind of popping too a little bit.
I was just about to say, let me read some things from the chat. So Mindy says, I agree. Teaching and preparing takes so much of our time. I have more money, but less time. It's a huge balancing act. I have a hard time finding time to exercise and do my hobbies. I would agree with you, Mindy. So one thing I should say is we all are talking about how great the money is at Outschool, and it is, but there is more time outside of just that teaching time that you are doing. So if you hear someone saying, I'm making $50 to $100 an hour, just remember that they're not including time that they spent outside of the class, making the class. So maybe if you included that stuff in what you were telling people was your hourly pay, maybe, hey, let me know in the description or in the chat if you'd be interested. If I did a video like timing myself, how much time am I spending outside of the actual teaching time on my Outschool classes? Yeah, so
like if I've taught before, 5 minutes prep, we're good to go. But right now I'm researching a lot of things that I want to teach this summer. And it's taking me months to research and to kind of formulate my order. So that's unpaid time. That's months before the actual class starts. But when it's like the class the week of, I'm like, oh yeah, I did some research 2 months ago, so I can just put it together. So trying to figure out the time is a little bit trickier for something.
Yes. And it does depend on the time. And that's one of the reasons I took down my camp that I put up, because I was like, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time creating this camp. And that's going to take up a lot of time too. What do you think, Jerry?
Yeah, I I can't really explain how much time I spend
Yeah.
preparing for classes that I haven't taught, because it's not just preparing one piece of art. Like when I teach my painting class, that we just do a new topic every week, and it's a different one than this one. It's just come with whatever paint you have, and the topic this week is cupcakes, or the
Hmm.
topic this week is trees. Well, I do at least two paintings of my own. They're small, and then I also prepare a document that has other um, copyright free examples to show them, because I want the whole idea of that class is to inspire the learners that a tree does not just have to have this brown trunk that looks like this with the
Hmm.
leaves like this. And so I show them examples, because the whole idea is to inspire them with different things and let them run with it and take it the way that they want to. Some of my leaves were yellow, some of my leaves were red. If they want to paint purple leaves, that's okay with me. So it's a lot of preparation, a lot of time thinking it
Yeah.
out. I try to stay a couple weeks ahead, but it's been almost impossible.
Yes.
And
And I,
almost impossible.
well, even then when I do book clubs, I will reread the book, even if I've read it before. So for me, I
Right.
still have the prep work because I want it to be fresh in my mind. Maybe if I've gotten to the point where I've read it like 6 times, like one of my Dogman books, I did several one-time classes of, I might stop reading it, but I still have to prepare every week. I have to reread it, so I remember and so, yeah.
Yep.
So let's see. What's everyone else saying? Hi, Evelyn. Mindy said my Outschool enrollment has picked up lately. Mine has too. I've noticed a lot of the kids that left because they were finishing up their last month of school. Some of them have come back, so that's good. But in any business, there's going to be ups and downs. Evelyn, give it a one time, once school. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, hi, Stephanie. I'd like to type their names phonetically if it's spelled different from how it's pronounced. Yes, Stephanie. I had this problem yesterday. I had a girl that left and came back, and I kept pronouncing her name wrong because it wasn't pronounced how it was spelled. I wish if I had a note that said, I would have. Luckily, she was very gracious with me, and she kept correcting me, and we made a joke out of it.
I do have, I teach like 5 Sophias a week and 1 Sophie. I kept calling her Sophia. She goes, no, it's Sophie. She put a bunch of E's. Like she renamed herself without the E's. Like, I'm sorry.
At least she was trying to help you phonetically.
Right, my daughter watched a lot of Sophia the First, so I'm constantly thinking Sophia. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
Yes. So let's see. Evelyn, you can write a note next to each student. Yes. Rebecca, Mindy's saying this. I just posted recipes for my paint camp in the classroom. Let me know if you go over it. I guess your daughter's in her class. Okay.
The delicious reading tea party class. It sounds like a fun one.
That sounds like fun. Yeah, she did those last year. Let's see. Okay, that's it as far as the chat goes. Was there anything else that we needed to talk about? Let me mention again the expo. I want to mention this several times in case you weren't here at the beginning. There's a Facebook expo. Rebecca put it in the chat earlier, and it's also in the description.
Today, soon, right?
Yes, actually, mine's in less than an hour, and then Jerry's is an hour after mine.
So and then watch the lives. They're like what, 15 minutes each?
25 at the longest, but usually less than that. Yeah. So we're all going to go and tell you about our classes, but they are giving out gift cards, and teachers are individually giving out their own discounts. So, and it's also a way to get to know the teachers. So yeah, join that Facebook group if you're a parent. I think it's too late to join if you're a teacher, but maybe she'll do another one. Yeah. Anything else? Let's see. I'll start with you, Rebecca, that you want to add or talk about.
Well, one thing that I'm trying to do this summer is kind of work smarter, not harder. And as enrollments have been dipping since summer starting, and I get a lot of, learners withdrawn because summer school starting, or my schedule is changing, or soccer practice starting. Like, okay, I got you. It's fine, no problem. But I'm getting a lot of classes with fewer and fewer learners. So I went through my weekly schedule, And I looked at all the different sections I'm teaching. And I'm like, okay, which section only has 2 learners? Let's see if I can transfer those to ones that have more learners and consolidate and condense. And so instead of teaching like 14 classes a week, I'm now down to like 11 or 12. I was able to cut out about 3 classes, and it makes my life a little bit easier. Plus, it gives them friends to socialize with. It's not just me and them. It's me and them and 3 other people. So the classes aren't too huge, but I'm trying to consolidate a little bit. And then as summer continues, or fall hits up and we get like sold out classes, I might add another section back in. But I just want to try to, reduce and consolidate.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I actually had one class that got down to 2 learners and I was able to transfer them. And for my own personal schedule, I'm trying to phase out one of my Friday sections because I want to take every other Friday off. And that's a popular class, so I want it to continue every week. Yeah, so I'm doing the same thing. And I have found that in the past 2 months when I've tried to start a new section, I only get like 1 learner. So I'm going to wait till the fall to even try to open any new section. It's just me personally.
Sometimes I open a new section, I'll post in the classroom of the current one saying, hey guys, I just opened the exact same class at this time. If you want to, you can join that one if it works better for you, because they don't always see that you open a new section. And it helps a little bit.
I've tried that before, just for me personally. I've never gotten anyone to take her. I say, hey, if you want a smaller class size, try this section. And nobody's ever taken me up on it. That's just me.
I wouldn't say smaller class size, but I only have like 1 or 2 people, but it just needs like 1 or 2 to start.
Yeah. Jerry, what else do you want to say?
I don't really have too much. I'm trying to just kind of evaluate the camps and see how things are going. And I might close a couple of them if they're not really booking, to just kind of free up that little spot there. I'm looking at some of my ongoing. They've definitely changed. I had a little dip with spring break things, and then things got a little bit better. And now it's happening again with summer. And we'll see. I don't know. I'm not quite sure yet, but I am watching it to see the numbers. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And I'm going live in about 52 minutes. And
Yay.
Jerry will be live an hour after that in the expo. Again, if you want some discounted classes, a chance to win a gift card. Well, thanks for coming and talking about this with me, ladies. So, all
Thank
right.
you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
And thanks to everyone who watched.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. She's so cute.